I realize I never really asked the question, but I'm super curious, speaking of which, about the Future Leaders Council. So when I scheduled the interview, I learned about this particular, whether it's program or department at Avanade. And I wonder if one or both of you can speak to that a little bit. I feel like it's something absolutely worth modeling after, not only for leadership, but I think for mental health, there are elements of that that really promotes and empowers young people at work.
Sure, I can touch on that. So the Future Leaders Council is something that we have within the advisory business group at Avanade, and it's essentially a group of younger consultants, so up to senior consultant, which is my level,
Mhm.
in in throughout the global organization. So it's people from Spain, France, UK, Americas, all over really, and our purpose is to sort of symbiotically help the actual senior leadership teams
Mhm.
get insights as how things are working on boots on the ground type insights, and help them with pieces like this, for example. So you know I first met Florin through the Future Leaders Council through another podcast opportunity, and so it's there's opportunities provided for co-thought leadership.
Wow.
And
Anything?
I mean, and from my perspective, what I really like about this is that we're giving up and coming leaders who are really early in their career a platform and a
Mhm.
chance in a more structured way
Mhm.
to get challenged, to do things that they might not have been naturally sort of invited to do in another organization for years and years.
Mhm.
And we challenge them a little bit with the unexpected, with the unknown, with new fun opportunities. But then equally for us, we're more experienced. Again, we're being kept on our toes. We
Mhm.
get inspired with fresh passion and and energy. We learn a few things, and you know, it's 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 really wonderful because what I feel sometimes as a senior leader,
Mhm.
you get told what people think that you want to hear. And
Mm.
actually having this direct connection where people I mean, I really get a chance to hear firsthand the good, the bad, and the ugly, unfiltered, in a constructive way, and I learn, I gain new insights, and then vice versa. I mean, I remember when I was Gonzalo's age, and I got a chance to meet with the general manager of the company I was working with back then, and I was like completely terrified,
Mhm.
and I was half mute, and basically put my foot in my mouth at that point in time because I was so unprepared, so um, uh, out of the normal. And I just think it's really fun that we're able to demystify this. Where even if we're executives, we're not demigods. We're humans. We have our faults. We make mistakes sometimes. We're like everybody else, maybe just a bit more gray hairs and a bit more experience. And I just think the ability to connect in a natural setting and exchange and help each other out, it's good practice. Be surprised if, and I'm surprised why not more organizations are doing this in a structured way.
I think as a result, also, Florin, you have this completely different, not completely different picture, but I think more accurate picture of how Gen Z, young millennials actually behave and interact with people, what they're interested in. And it reminds me of, as an immigrant living in the US, it's very different to befriend people who have actually been to Beijing, have traveled to, China or Sweden or London, and in this case, or Spain, to paint that picture as opposed to only watching the news
Yeah.
to assume what people are like. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you find it helpful. We'll soon be back with our next podcast. In the meantime, please share this episode with your friends and colleagues.